Alright, welcome to the gameplay guide of the Royal Base Bees deck. You guys want to see this for sure, and I'm personally really excited as well. Really cool new archetype to be showcasing for it. And yeah, not the bees. I know you guys been memeing about it in the community, but not the bees. But here they are. Looking at our opening hand, it's really good. We are going second, and this is fantastic. We want to work with our level 3s and 4s and any of our searching cards to find what we need as we climb up. It's a stack-based building deck, and the really important thing is that we need to cycle through our security and set up our buffs in there, and I'll show you guys how we sort of do that as we go. Also, make sure to stay tuned for the deck profile. I'll be making a couple of changes after playtesting as well, and updates with even more playtesting, so stay tuned for that. So we start at 3 memory thanks to Mighty Axe mode, so we can go ahead and put down the Shu Yulin. I personally really like Shu Yulin for various reasons. Mainly it's for the alliance and the reboot, which can give us a lot of tools to work with in terms of our archetype, because everything, or pretty much every royal base or bee related card, is an X antibody. So having that can help us push a lot of aggression. You guys might see is like, it's kind of tricky here. Dark Knightmon, we're facing against Dark Knightmon with the new Lord Knightmon top end, and they have a really wide board already, and they're starting to chip away our security. That Mighty Axe mode double check was absolutely value for them there. But by going into Waspmon, this is actually a really good anti-rookie rush or anti-chip card, just because it prevents our opponents from attacking our security at this moment. And by locking down those Monotamons, Dark Knightmon really needs no Monotamons to get deleted, especially the newer one that's being played, because they want to be chipping away so then they get their undeletion effects. Aside from that, they can't chip us, because once they have to chip us, their game plan is to try to like finish us off with either continuous attacks with rookies or mid-control board with Dark Knight here. But this is really early in the stage. We have a Waspmon to basically stop all of that, and thanks to having another Waspmon in our security, which gives extra 1k buff, funbeemon another extra 1k, our Waspmon is 6k, meaning anything below 6k or the same can't attack players directly. They have no choice to go into a Dark Knightmon early, but they have to digicross with your sources, telling us that it's a little bit too early stage in the game. We stopped them from cycling and sort of like being able to search, so they can't find double digicross requirements to delete our stack. So now we can actually clap back and climb all the way up here like this to go into QueenBeemon, de-digivolve, and this is one of my personal favorite techs at the moment, Leopardmon X, and I've been testing this out and it's been working out very well because it helps us go wide and play even more bodies very, very quickly. Being able to reduce any green Digimon that we play out for 7 or fewer cost is just tremendous value. And with this B deck, we want to play out big bodies. We can get into Queen Bees easily, and we want to have bigger bodies to continue to digivolve as well on top of it. We're sitting in a very good position. I really like the inheritables of the level 5s because they trash security, just like the good old green and black inheritance when you delete something by battle. And I see myself in a very good spot, so I felt like, okay, yeah, I can go into Queen Bee, set up a level 5 in there, which also gives everything blocker. And it really just synergizes greatly with Shu Yulin because it has reboot, so we can always go for aggressive attacks, unsuspend during their unsuspend phase, and have stuff for defense as well at the same time. They don't really have a choice here. They really want to cycle with Monotamon. It's still too early for the game for them because they really need to find pieces, so they're going to try to chip away and going to have to take some trade. With Leopardmon X blocking it, the trashing security is also all turns, and we're really getting a lot of effectiveness here. Also, I love the Metal Life Kuwagamon because it gives us redirects too. And here, we're basically set up for a big lethal swing turn. And there's just absolutely nothing they can do. Dark Knightmon really needs some of their tamers as well to be able to digicross effectively, but for them it's most importantly to be able to find the double digicross pieces so that they can de-digivolve us in there. But you guys can see here's a very good example in this deck where we can ramp up really quickly. And apologies here guys, I forgot to mind link out with Shu Yulin at the end of the turn, which you should always be doing, but you know, please keep in mind there, I was playing this deck for the first time. But anyways, we also should be paying at least 1 cost to play out the QueenBeemon because we're using with Leopardmon's effect, which reduces by 7 only. But here it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because we have all these checks, Alliance triple, and finish the game off. Next game, we're facing off against Shumon and Sandromon here. Now, we are going second, looking at our hand, not what we want to work with. Although we have a little bit of searching, I felt like having 3 level 6s, it's just a little bit too much. I want to see something a little bit more optimal in terms of lower end and then find my level 6s later, just because I feel like, you know, there are times that we just don't find our lower end. And here with our mulligan hand, it looks so much better. Especially going second, we have an additional card to work with as well. And having the level 3 and 4, like pretty much almost like you guys saw before. And we have searching. So now we can just focus on finding what we need and play the resource game. Agility training. We have a lot of those. Now we get to grab our QueenBeemon. And we just need to find like a 5. And then we're pretty much set to climb all the way up. And I really like the BT19 funbeemon as the priority, just because it helps us reduce our Digivolution costs, just like that Shumon. And this is very common for the most recent Liberator stuff. And gotta say, these cards are fantastic. Being able to reduce into your level 4, there's some really neat combos that I would like to show you guys as well as we climb up later on too. Here they go up into early Chaperonemon alongside with a level 3. Probably thinking that we won't be able to answer them just yet, which we can't because we are still a little bit stuck on the 5. And I really want to try to prioritize in searching it. Now, another little tip for you guys when it comes to cycling and searching, we did mention and establish that it's really important to push out and use the Poromon to place your royal base stuff into your security to get maximum buffs. And the whole idea behind that is not just to place a card in security, it's actually a way to help you potentially cycle and draw cards. You're actually drawing the card off your security off of that, and oftentimes you can find the piece that you need. So sometimes you need to gamble a little bit. So that's just a little extra tip for you guys who want to know how to also effectively just to maximize your chances on getting the cards you need. But I kind of want to stay a little bit safe because I felt like I have like Kokuamon X, I have like agility trainings to work with. But here's a really good example. Now we find a secondary rookie, and this is the combo that I really want to show is like I love the proto form with funbeemon BT9 to go into any level 4 effectively for 0 cost at this point. Now we have the agility trainings to work with, and our opponent seems to be establishing 2 level 5s, which I find a little bit odd because if they had Sandromon, which is the 6, they probably went into it. But I feel like this could be a potential bait here. There could be a potential ace as a matter of fact. But with the amount of resources we have, we can easily climb up. And once again, Leopardmon X showing its tremendous value, providing so much work, and we can actually get rid of them, de-digivolve them as well, all at the same time, and clear their board. And by getting rid of a lot of stuff, they're going to have to like rebuild all over again. They do have the memory setter Arisa, which is going to be really good for them. They're going to have the starter main to gain 1 and a training. They can easily climb all the way to a 6 if they need to go for a clapback. But this is a really good opportunity for me to go wide and go as strong and as powerful as possible with Leopard X, with Queen Bee, and establish to control on the board with these big bodies. And once again, guys, I absolutely love Leopard X. Being able to play like a 7 cost or less, or reduce the 7 cost turn after turn for green stuff, man, this card is paying off a lot of work. So here, they're gonna come out, and we're pretty much set up because the next turn then I want to sort of like at the start of main slide one of my level 5s, which is going to be the Vespamon into security, and then potentially play out with QueenBeemon, and we can do a ton of damage all in one go. We also have Metal Life that we can play out with Leopard Xmon's effect for free to suspend something down and continue to attack as well. We still have 2 agility trainings, which is also going to be really good for us. So here it looks like, okay, they are able to establish their second stack. They're able to establish another combo, cycle and draw more cards with the Shumon. They're going to give it rush, but it doesn't seem like they really want to attack just yet because they probably want to reserve a rookie to work with. So they're going to preemptively go into Cherubi Ace right here, which I predicted earlier. It was a little bit obvious, even though they tried to bait us. So we didn't fall for the bait, but since we didn't fall for the bait, they're going into it proactively, but they're not going to be able to DP reduce our big bodies because we do have extra 1k buff. Thanks to Waspmon and security, it's going to be a little bit difficult. They're going to have to play more things in order to really like get rid of our big guy there. So we still have both level 6s to work with, and just to get rid of Kokuamon, sure, probably means that they don't even have a Sandromon to work with to begin with here too. So I'm here deciding what I really want to tuck underneath of my security. But yes, like I said before, I should really be tucking the Vespamon because I have the intention to play it back out with QueenBeemon's effect. QueenBeemon is just really good in terms of like keeping our board afloat and security as well at the same time. Board afloat. And also like just protecting our royal base stuff, not protecting, but like being able to recover royal base stuff back into security, meaning we can utilize their buffs and utilize their resources again. So here, I felt like, okay, I can go for a very good clear combo. I want to get rid of absolutely everything on the board. Just because I feel like if I swing my one chance into the Cherubi Ace, they can use the Chaperonemon to delete one of their puppets, liberators, you know, whatever it is, the Shumon and the Shushumon to keep it protected, so I will lose my one-time attack. And this is also, I realized, something seems a little bit fishy. There probably is another Ace incoming. And I was contemplating what the most optimal play is, because just because with Leopardmon X's effect to bounce something back to the hand, I could have actually probably attempted to swing with QueenBeemon right off the bat, play out a body first with Leopard X, and then play out another body with Queen Bee, and then I would be able to meet the DP threshold to bounce the Cherubi Ace and gain massive overflow back just off of that. But like I mentioned, I really wanted to get rid of those rookies, smaller bodies first, because they can delete it for protection. And like I guessed, here comes a burst mode right here to massively DP reduce us. But the main thing is I'm actually pressuring them. I went with Queen Bee, attacked with Alliance. I'm actually at 30k, matching their burst mode. If they DP reduce us, it's only going to go up to 15, so we would actually crash against each other, and I would gain a ton of memory with Ace Overflow. And despite that, Queen Bee is going to go back into security, which I can potentially utilize again afterwards if I can get my Winner's Tamer set up right there. You see, in that particular situation, they went for the most, I guess, optimal play is to get rid of our Leopard X, so then we don't have to crash with Queen Bee, but this still puts us in a very good position. We have 10 maximum memory to work with at this point. And here, I'm just trying to tell myself, okay, we need to find a way to get rid of Shumon, because the Risa being able to float out a Tamer back is nice. They're going to give us security -1, which doesn't matter because none of our bodies can attack since they all played this turn. But with that amount of memory, I'm just going to go build up stronger bodies. There's just absolutely nothing they can really do to stop us at this point. And I was like, okay, you know what? I need to find a way to get into that Vespamon. But for some random reason, I totally forgot in my head that I was supposed to actually put the Cannon Beemon away. And then so I think that I can Digivolve into the Vespamon afterwards to delete that Shumon so that they can't climb up all over again. And that would actually secure my win con. So a little bit of a suboptimal misplay there. I completely forgot, but that gives the opponents a potential chance to play all over again because they have so much memory to work with. Arisa with setting to 3 and then the additional 1 memory each with the start of main. They go up to level 5 just like that, and they can easily go into Sanjomon once more and establish the board a little bit there. And I'm still not too worried, just because even if they go into that, we exhausted a lot of their aces so far. There might be a potential another Cherubi Ace or maybe another burst mode Ace potentially, but we have such big bodies. Again, I'm not worried. And tigervespamon, also just a note to keep in mind, guys, I suspended down that Shumon, and even though they Digivolve all the way up, they can't even unsuspend with it anyways, and they won't be able to attack. But that's the nice thing with Overclock, they can actually attack without necessarily suspending, so that's one way. But again, we got big bodies, we got blockers. Thanks to having the Vespamon at level 5 in there, it gives us blockers, so they can't really attack, and they don't really want to attack either, because our DP buffs is also buffed up with Vosmon in the security. So we just got really, really big chonky bodies. And here, we can just go for the lethal, but we're just going to continue to cycle through a little bit because you never know what could be in security, but we can potentially just get rid of everything. Maybe try to play around another burst mode ace that might be coming in. So I'm trying to see, okay, what's the best way to remove this board? I have a lot of memory to work with. I have a green boost, I have another Protoform, and I absolutely love Protoform in this deck. It's just so good. Just because we can actually reduce our Digivolution cost and climb up. We can de-Digivolve, and then we can swing over, trash security, play stuff, play a Waspmon back out again, and we're just going super wide. So we're just gonna finish the last 2 checks with a big alliance, and then we can just Waspmon, swing for game. Okay, in this game, we're gonna take the challenge up, and we're gonna try to compete against one of the best top tier decks of the previous format, Ancient Garurumon. Not only Ancient Garurumon is still an incredibly effective and efficient deck at what it does, they also now have the new Koji and Takuya Tamer that is used in the regular hybrid decks for Emperor Grey and Magna Gar. and they can still be played there in this deck because they offer so much value for it overall. Adding stuff in, having a memory setter additional, and also making attacks at the end of turn as it was blitz is really good. But anyways, here we went with our hand anyways. As per usual, we felt like, okay, Kokua X can help us search for bodies. Having the BT9 funbeemon is great, and I can easily just climb all the way up I need, and I don't even need to have any searching pieces of options or staples to work with. And the one reason why I really like Kokua X, which I haven't mentioned earlier in the video, is that we get to grab anything that's insectoid. Anything that is insectoid is basically royal based. They all have that role trait, which is really fantastic, which I love the insect synergy. But that's not the only reason. It also lets us grab protoform. And protoform is, you guys saw, it just pays off so much for this deck. And it's pretty crucial, I think, at least from the version that I've been playtesting so far. Anyways, here in this position, I really want to see if I can actually go out all aggressive. I'm actually contemplating to like HPD to go into my level 6. And I felt like I really want to address that Boko because it's still early in the game. I don't want the opponent to start cycling and searching and finding their pieces just because chances are they may not have it just yet. And I didn't want to suspend my Kokua X because if I suspend my Kokua X for the HPD, then I would end up having a suspended body. The Gotsu can kind of come out, swing over it, and then they can still find a way to even like bounce it with Ancient Guard even. So I decided felt like I should be okay. I can sit her as a level 5, and the most important thing when you're playing against Ancient Guard is to make sure you have a smaller body on the side because Ancient Guard always bounces the lowest level. Now back to the Gotsumon. Just a funny joke. Did you guys know that rock types is really super effective against insect Digimon? But no, jokes aside, but yeah, that Gotsumon is a very huge problem for us in this deck because we end up playing a lot of stuff. And this is really stopping me from being able to turbo and accelerate up because I really want to actually go into Queen Bee, and then with Queen Bee, I want to swing and play something out, but I can't because Gotsu just straight up stops it. And the other slight unfortunate thing is, since I was talking about Protoform earlier, we've been seeing it throughout all our games. And I do run quite a fair amount of them because it's just an incredibly efficient card. And I can't go into Leopard X either. And same thing, Leopard X is the same as Queen Bee. We're trying to play bodies out. So Gotsu is a very strong counter that we're going to have to find a way to deal with at some point, honestly. So I felt like I didn't want to give my opponent too much memory to work with. Since they established the first Ancient Guard themselves already, I just felt like, you know what, let's just Digivolve into the Queen Bee for the normal 4 cost, put them to 1 and give them as little resources as possible to see what they can really work with. And we have a blocker, so we don't have to worry about it because we do have Cannon B in security, and we also have an extra 1k buff next to Wasp as well. And I really like the fact that, again, we get to trash their security once they attack. So they go for a Gotsu attack here anyways, which I felt like they might have been better if they kept it, but I kind of see where they got to here. Okay, I understand now. They want to get the chip away, draw a card, which probably tells me they're really desperate to sort of find like certain pieces they need and keep the consistency going, but they can end the turn with the Ancient Guardian Deity, not able to Digicross because they're not able to find the Kendo Guard. I believe that's what they're really looking for, and they really want to search for that piece, but at least they get to bounce and remove our stack. But this is one thing we kind of learned during this interaction in this particular matchup, is that when they attempt to bounce Queen Bee would leave, and because of its would leave effect, it actually goes hide in security. We end up not adding anything into our hand. We don't even have Protoform, so Ancient Guard wouldn't be able to get as much value because then we won't add the security to our hand since we added nothing. And with that, they gave us quite a lot of memory to work with at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity to try to de-Digivolve it, get rid of an Ancient Guard. I know they're missing certain pieces at the moment still, so I want to try to take advantage as quickly and as early as possible as I can by getting rid of that Lobo. The de-Digivolve is going to be great because Ancient Guard won't be able to get deleted and get their on-deletion effects to cycle for more Tamers and more possible pieces. But the only one thing that's really unfortunate for us right now is we're missing a Protoform. I really want a Protoform because with Protoform, I can go into Leopard X and then I can play massive bodies off of it. So I'm really contemplating, okay, do I want to HPD here? Do I want to play Shu Yulin, pass them back to 3? Effectively and efficiently? But you know what, I felt like, okay, I know Leopard X, try not to greed too much. I don't have Protoform to work with. It is what it is. I can't find another way to sort of go into it aside potentially playing Kokua X, but that was just past turn. So I'm just going to HPD myself, my own stack, to Digivolve into it, play out a lower body. You know, at the end of the day, I can still play out a 4 cost. And you know what? It's really important that we try to play as much bodies as we can in the early, thanks to not having that Gotsumon on the board anymore. And because of not having that Gotsumon, we can still at least bottom deck Lobo, because not bottom deck, we still get to at least return the Lobo back to their hand. I'm also contemplating if that is the right choice, because by returning the Lobo back to their hand, they have access to it, and they just need to find a Kendall guard. They can go for the whole warp combo all over again with it as well. So I kind of have to go for that gamble, I guess. So you can see they're playing Boko. They need to find their pieces, and I guess they somehow found it here. And going to Kendo, Kendo's gonna potentially go into Lobo. Lobo is gonna warp into Ancient Gar, and now they do get rid of our Forged Beemon, but that's okay. That's still really important because, like I mentioned, having a lower level body on the side is gonna keep us, you know, our big stack safe from Ancient Gar's bouncing effect. But they are applying a lot of pressure. They're putting our security lower and lower, and at this moment, one of the slight weaknesses with like the royal base, or like the gimmick, I guess, like a con, not like weakness, more like a con, is that your security is revealed to your opponent. Your opponent knows absolutely everything in there, and they don't have to be like, okay, what if there was this bomb or whatever it is. So they don't have to be afraid of it. But here we're going to continue to play stuff out with Leopard X. We're going to play the same Forged Beemon here. And I'm just trying to see, okay, can we clear this entire board, get rid of everything? And that can put us in a really good position back for a potential clapback, because I love Vespamon being able to delete play cost stuff. If only Vespamon can delete Tamers potentially, that would be really good, but it might be way too powerful. But maybe, you know, it'd be nice if it was like, start from 2 costs and you only get to add 1 cost to delete a Tamer or Digimon instead. So here, let's just go ahead and chip. Our Leopard X is pretty strong, should meet most thresholds because we have the Waspmon and funbeemon, which gives extra 1k all turns. And here there was actually no point mind linking or unmind linking Shu Yulin, just because we don't even have blocker. We don't even need to reboot our QueenBeemon. If anything, we should have tucked it underneath Leopard X so we could have unsuspended. But I was also kind of worried that, hey, if they go into Ancient Guard combo all over again, they can just bounce the Leopard X and I would just lose the Shu Yulin. And I felt like the 3 memory was a lot more crucial in that particular moment, rather than actually mind linking underneath just for the sake of reboot. And the other downside with Leopard X is a little bit is that it doesn't synergize with QueenBeemon in terms of, like, you know, being able to go back into security if it will leave the battle area. So here our opponent decided to go for a Gotsumon play, kind of interesting here, but they're actually not able to do this. So we did pick this up during the game, and we're just like, okay, you know what? We're just experimenting and playing and just trying to get an idea of it. I think I can see their intention there, but we just rewind and let them take it back right there. So just for the more optimal play, since we're just kind of like playtesting at home anyways. And yeah, I think their intention was that they really want to drop down a Gotsu before the turn ends, because the fact that QueenBeemon can always just spawn out either the QueenBeemon or the other Waspmon is just going to be really good for us, and we can have lethal attacks in the next turn. We're basically pretty much set up for lethal. We're actually pressuring Ancient Guard, which is really, really nice to see, because we did play quite a lot of matchups, and Ancient Guard usually is a little bit more just consistent. It's just a lot more faster. So this matchup is actually relatively hard generally. And this is one of the games where I finally be like, oh yeah, I'm in a really great position. But unfortunately, man, guys, I gotta apologize. I totally missed my lethal combo here. Totally. I could have finished them off very easily here like this, because all I had to do is swing with QueenBeemon, play out the Waspmon, also mind link the Shu Yulin first, and I have double alliance. Also making sure that I have 3 memory, which I do because I have a memory setter. The thing is, I should have just played the level 3 instead of digivolving into that Forged Beemon for no reason, absolutely. But I was so tunnel visioned. But I could have just hard slap a funbeemon, and then put something underneath into security, cycle my thing, whatever I'm just gonna play with Queen Bee, swing with Queen Bee, play that one in the security, alliance with the other rookie that I just hard played with the funbeemon, which you guys can clearly see I have a hand. That would have been 3 checks, and then the funbeemon that came out from raising would just make the final swing. Oh man, I can't believe it, guys. I think it was been a long day, honestly, playing this matchup and all that. We grinded quite a lot, and there they go. There's all the Takuyas and Kojis. So I apologize to guys for that. I fumbled it, but you know what? Looking this back after the replay, I really feel like we had that game. We really did, and it's gonna show too. They have there shouldn't be any surprises. The only thing that can sort of like stop us and just end it all would be like an ice wall. Wouldn't even be hammer spark because we saw them use it from their hand. And here we basically just fed into them, and Digivolving is not going to do anything. They have the tamers, they have more than enough swings here, they have more than enough memory, and at this point, you know what, guys, we deserve to be BM'd. Our opponent can just swing with hybrids, and there's just nothing we can do. We only have really like not even a block even, actually. But we thought we had blocker too, I think, which is not the case. And yeah, we're both really tired at this point, so really, guys, please bear with us here. They were trying to see if they can fancy it out and try to go for some like fancier combos to, like, I don't know, potentially go into a 5, clear the board while they're doing it at the same time. Maybe they're trying to look into, hey, can they go into Beowulf, which is kind of sick or whatever, but they don't have enough memory. But you know what, guys, like I said, in our hearts, we should have won this game. We really should have. So please count it as a win. Count it as a win. But yeah, it's been a long day playing this game. But still, I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot about this matchup. Again, I should not be able to block with that, but we just showed the security that it would have been safe. I should have allianced, but yeah, there we go. Don't forget to grab the Spirit Transcendence collection on the AVAULT store right now, as we have limited quantities. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video. And this is AVAULT signing